You've heard the saying that time is money, and it is. Perhaps that's why we always complain about travel. Why can't we get there faster? Can this experience be better? People dream of when they can comfortably move from one destination to another within the blink of an eye. This is essentially the main goal of the Hyperloop. Countries in Europe and Asia are filled with high-speed bullet trains that are capable of bringing passengers from Paris to London or Tokyo to Kyoto within 2.5 hours. SpaceX and Tesla founder Elon Musk plans to shunt humans through a pneumatic tube at speeds of 700 plus miles per hour via a Hyperloop. This is a little mind-boggling, but new simulations confirm that the system won't defy the laws of physics. This is the future of high-speed transportation. It is 3.5 times faster than Japan's Shinkansen bullet trains and even faster than a Boeing 747. It is a Hyperloop magnetic pod levitating inside a tube at more than 1,000 kilometers per hour. In theory, you could go from LA to San Francisco in just 45 minutes with a ticket less than $100 one way. This technology could make working and living in two different cities a standard, while also creating work with less congestion. A Hyperloop is a proposed high-speed mass transportation system designed for both passenger and freight transport. The term was invented to describe the modern open-source project. Hyperloop is described as a sealed tube or system of tubes with low air pressure through which a pod may travel substantially free of air resistance or friction. The Hyperloop could potentially move people or objects at airlines and hypersonic speeds while being energy efficient compared to existing high-speed rail systems. If implemented, this could potentially reduce travel times compared to air and train travel over distances of under approximately 1,500 kilometers. The Hyperloop has three major components, which include a tube, a pod, and a terminal. The tube is a large sealed low-pressure system that can be constructed above or below ground. A coach runs inside this controlled environment and is often referred to as a pod. The pod employs magnetic or aerodynamic levitation using air-bearing skis along with electromagnetic or aerodynamic propulsion to glide along a fixed guideway, which is the terminal's arrival and departure. The Hyperloop concept has its roots in a concept invented by George Medhurst and subsequently developed under the handle pneumatic railway, atmospheric railway, or VAC train. Elon Musk in 2012 mentioned the Hyperloop again, successfully bringing it back to the public's attention. His initial concept incorporated reduced pressure tubes in which pressurized capsules ride on air bearings driven by linear induction motors and axial compressors. In Musk's original theory, each capsule floats on 0.02 to 0.05 air layer provided under pressure to air caster skis, similar to how pucks are levitated above air hockey tables, while still allowing higher speeds than wheels can sustain. Hyperloop One's technology uses passive mag lift to fit the same purpose. Linear induction motors located along the tube would accelerate and decelerate the capsule to the appropriate speed for each section of the tube route. With rolling resistance eliminated and air resistance greatly reduced, the capsules can glide for the bulk of the journey. According to Musk's original concept, an electrically driven inlet fan and axial compressor would be placed at the nose of the capsule to actively transfer high-pressure air from the front to the rear of the vessel, resolving the problem of air pressure building up in front of the vehicle. A fraction of air is shunted to the skis for additional pressure, augmenting that gain passively from lift due to their shape. Hyperloop One's system does away with that compressor. The Hyperloop Alpha concept was first published in August 2013, promising and examining a route running from the Los Angeles region to the San Francisco Bay Area, roughly following the Interstate 5 corridor. The Hyperloop Genesis paper conceived of a Hyperloop system that would propel passengers along the 350-mile route at speeds of 760 miles per hour, allowing for a travel time of 35 minutes, which is considerably faster than current rail or air travel times. Preliminary costs estimate for LA to San Francisco suggested routes were included for the white paper at $6 billion for passenger-only versions and a $7.5 billion for a somewhat larger diameter version transporting passengers and vehicles. However, transportation analysts expressed doubts that the system could be constructed on that budget, including some predictions that the Hyperloop would be several $billion over budget once construction, development, and operation costs are taken in place. The Hyperloop concept has been explicitly open-sourced by Musk and SpaceX, with others who have been encouraged to take the ideas and further develop them. To that end, a few companies have been formed, and several interdisciplinary student-led teams are working to advance the technology. SpaceX built an approximately 1-kilometer subscale track for its pod design competition at its headquarters in Hawthorne, California. Virgin Hyperloop conducted its first human trial in November 2020 at its test site in Las Vegas. From late 2012 until August 2013, a group of engineers from both Tesla and SpaceX worked on the conceptual modeling of Hyperloop. An early system design was published in the Tesla and SpaceX blogs, which described one potential design, function, pathway, and cost of a Hyperloop system. According to the alpha designs, pods would accelerate to cruising speed gradually using a linear electric motor and glide above their track on air bearings through tubes above ground, on columns, or below ground in tunnels to avoid the dangers of grade crossings. An ideal Hyperloop system would be more energy efficient, quiet, and autonomous than existing modes of mass transit. Musk has also invited feedback to see if people can find ways to improve it. The Hyperloop Alpha was released as an open-source design. The word-marked Hyperloop, applicable to high-speed transportation of goods in tubes, was issued to SpaceX on April 4, 2017. According to Musk's latest reveal, this alternative to California high-speed rail would involve specialized commuter pods that would hold up to 28 passengers, revved up by electromagnetic linear accelerators sent screaming through low-pressure steel tubes on cushions of air. Ansys, a company that builds software simulations for the transportation industry, created a model based on the details Musk proposed in a 57-page public document. When they put the virtual Hyperloop through a dry run, the engineers were impressed. Samdeep Sonvani, director of land transport strategy at Ansys, told NBC News that he was quite convinced that the Hyperloop concept was going to work, further stating that he doesn't see any red flags or major issues so far. Sonvani's team created a virtual pod and tube according to dimensions and artist rendering in Musk's document describing the high-speed system. The virtual tube was depressurized and the pod was subjected to airflow tests, as cars are in a wind tunnel, with air speeds hitting 470 miles per hour. Sonvani does suggest some modifications to be made. For one, the shape of the capsules need to be further streamlined, and the boxy artist renderings will have to be smoothed out to mimic the shape of ultra-fast projectiles like a bullet or rocket. He further explained that the shape of the entire vehicle would have to be cylindrical, and the team wants to get this right before moving on to other possible snags in the setup. These are routine challenges and will eventually be ironed out, according to Sonvani. It is just a matter of targeting them one after the other. Virgin Hyperloop has plans in Dubai, India, and more, with stateside plans for the Midwest, North Carolina, and Texas. Both of these US projects will be completed by around 2030. This might sound like a long time, but airplanes took about 16 years to get up and running. The first high-speed train took at least a decade of development, so some 15 years for the Hyperloop doesn't seem that far off. Let me know what you guys think. How long and how achievable do you think the Hyperloop concept would take and be? Let us know your thoughts by leaving a comment in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.